Last week, I asked you if I should paint the Sanguinor blue. I said this could be a fun way to make a sad twist on a Lamenter, and 78% of you agreed. So after a quick round of priming, we're ready to get our Sanguinor painted to become a Sadguinor. Let's go! I don't paint a lot of blue armor, so I'm really excited for this. So what we're going to do first is we're going to work on a purple glaze for the undershades of the armor, like under the arms, where the natural shadows would fall. So let's get started with that first. Since I want to go for like a magic blue armor, I don't want to make it too dark a purple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a glaze with some Tooth and Coat's Runic Purple and some Spirit Medium. Let's go! Thank goodness I had a spare airbrush needle laying around, so that took care of that. So let's get our couple of drops. We're going to water that down with a lot of medium and a lot of water. Let's go. Alrighty. This should be a nice glaze. Now, I don't mean to glaze my glaze, but that's a nice looking glaze. Har, 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 har. Thank you, thank you. I'll be making comedy here all week. Now let's get to glazing. Let's wick off a little extra, and then we'll start hitting the underarms. Isn't that a nice looking glaze? Looking nice and glazy. Very thin, very thin. Let's get all of our recesses and shaded areas. Everywhere where we'd have a natural shadow. Gee, I'm a little worried it might be too bright of a shade now. There we go. Looking very nice. Nice and glazed. Once that dries, we'll go ahead and start doing the blue armor. While we wait, let's paint some of the gold parts of the model. Like the cup, the hilts, all that fun stuff. Once that glaze is dry, and we do our second coat, we'll go ahead and start doing the blue parts of the armor. Still trying to decide what to do for the power sword. Trying to decide between green or pink. I actually got my hands on the world's pinkest pink ink recently, so that's an option. That could be fun to airbrush it with. I recently did a whole video talking about how much I love the Sanguinary Priest cup, so I'm happy to be painting another one so soon. There we go. That's our gold done. Looking at it, and with this purple glaze, it actually looks pretty prismatic. It's got prismatic armor. Maybe that's what I'll do for the wings. I'll make some green wash, yellow wash, blue wash, and maybe some prismatic wings would look real nice on this fella. Food for thought. Here's something kind of crazy. Recaster just hand-delivered my order to my house. I just got all kinds of fun bits for my next project, so be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to stay tuned for what I'm going to use these fun recast bits for. Yep, we got something real exciting in the works here, I'll tell you what. If you can recognize any of these heads, I think you know what's coming up. Before we dive into the armor, let's see if Tamiya Panel Liner does a good job of shading this gold. I'm excited to try it out. Fingers crossed, and... ooh, that's looking good! Oh yeah. Oh yeah, now let's bring that over to the sword hilt. Okay. Not as strong as it was on that belt, but I can see it, We still got a whole sword hilt to do. Okay, I can see that. It's looking good. That really does make a difference. Oh yeah, I've been loving this panel liner for all my other projects. Having a little bit of trouble figuring out how to make it work for the cup though, because, well, as you can see, it's got a lot fewer panel lines, so yeah, I might have to go to Agrax for that one. Still, I'm real happy with how this came out. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's start on that bright magic blue. Depending how that looks from there, we're either going to shade it with... Oh, no, not Celestium Blue. Where's my Drekhov Nightshade? Depending how it looks by itself, we may shade it either with Drekhov Nightshade or apply some Royal Roads on top. Let's see how it goes. That's one of the big things I love about mini painting. It's an adventure. You're figuring it out as you go. Let's go. That's looking good. I like the way that purple glaze is helping to shape the shadows. Wow, that sounds like bad English. Let's try that again. I really like how that purple glaze helps to pre-shade the darker areas of the armor. That's looking real nice. I'm also just realizing how similar this looks to Talisar Blue. So, I do have a bottle of that somewhere. Maybe I could have used that instead, but I will say it is nice just to have an extra bottle of paint laying around. Add it to my expansive collection. Looking good. Gotta carefully maneuver around his little vial there. Not sure what he's got in it. Maybe we'll put something in there. Oh, maybe blood. Why not? Blood for the blood vial. Don't call the Inquisitor. We don't want to get taxed today. There we go. Got some shading there. Looking real good. That's a nice magical blue we got there. Bloink. Looking good. Muscular blue. Alright, let's paint those washboard abs. Another good reason to do blue, because now it looks like it's wet blue washboard. That did sound better in my head. There we go. We got that good shade in there. Coming along. Boink. Gotta be careful around those wings. I'm still leaning towards the idea of doing them some kind of prismatic color, so don't want to make them blue by accident. Alright, let's get a little more of that magic blue. Tell me, what do you think? Does this blue look magical to you guys? Let me know down below. I'm real happy with how that purple glaze ended up. We got some good definition and shading in there. We could have tried to build that up with the Drekhov Nightshade, but I wanted to level it up from... Or I wanted to build up that shading naturally from the darkest parts of the armor, so I'm real happy with how that came out. Here we go. Here goes the face. Sploosh. Look at that. He looks so sad. He's our sad Gwenor. Such a sad man. I painted a bunch of Lamenter pauldrons the other day for another video, so I'll just stick one of those on there. We got good shading on the underarm there. Looking good. Gotta be very careful with his fist, though. Don't want to turn our gold hilt into a blue hilt. Isn't there a comic with a character named Blue Hilt? No, Green Hilt. It's a Dungeons and Dragons comic, started in the, early 2000s, called Order the Stick. I used to really enjoy reading it. It was a lot of fun. Heard a new edition of Dungeons and Dragons came out recently. 6th edition, I think it would have been, because 5th edition came out 10 years ago, right? Has anyone played Dungeons and Dragons 6th edition yet? Is it any good? I heard there was a lot of people moving over to play Pathfinder 2nd edition after the whole Wizards of the Coast copyright issue with the Open Games license. I don't know if a lot of people actually did follow through with switching up Pathfinder 2nd edition, or if that was just angry people on the internet making big talk. So here we go. Here's our blue magic man. Oh, he looks so good. I'm excited. Let's let him dry. We do got some nice shading in the recesses, but I do see myself going through with royal robes back over it to get rid of some of this darkest washed areas, so, up to an even color. So let's give that a try in just a minute after this dries. While we wait for that to dry, let's work on that power sword. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna blast it with the world's pinkest pink ink. So what I want to do is get it started with a layer of silver to more easily show that there's metal underneath it. And I'll give it just a drop of familiar pink in there, just to get a visualization, one, of what it'll look like once we hit it with the hot pink. Two, my hope is that when we pre-shade it with this metallic pink, it'll make the brighter pink much more vibrant. Obviously, we'll be doing some work with the world's widest ink that I have and try to help shade that a bit. So, while we wait for this armor to dry, let's go ahead and get this metallic pink on the sword. And I will say that looks real nice. I got a couple of washes I could see myself shading it with, but we'll get there when we get there. Oh, it actually could wash pretty well with Pixie Pink speed paint, but would I rather just wait until I can blast it with the world's pinkest pink ink? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. This does look like a nice dark base to build up from, so I'm very happy with that. Not done, of course. So stay tuned to see what I do with the world's pinkest pink ink. Let's level up that blue armor with some royal robes. There we go. We got our sample. Let's load up our brush, and then away we go. Looking good. Interesting. It looks even more like Talisar blue now. Looks like Celestian blue mixed with Talisar blue, so I think I am happy we made this color combination. And we still see our shading from our purple wash. So I think this looks pretty good. Very nice. Let's try to cover up that spot where the paint dried unevenly. That should look a little better. Nice. Let's get the face. There we go. This royal robe is a nice way to hit the highest points of the model, as well as stick to the recesses. So I'm very glad that we went back to do this. Still have decent amount of work to do on this model, even after finishing the blue armor. But that'll be a fun project as we work out how to do the prismatic wings. But that'll be a fun project to do as we figure out how to do the prismatic wings. So stay tuned for that. I haven't painted anything prismatic before, so I'll have to do a little bit of research on how to get that done. And I'll be excited to show you what I figure out. If you want to stay tuned to that video, down the road, feel free to subscribe or hit the notifications button here on the channel. That way you can stay in tune for any and all painting projects that we work on together. That way you can stay tuned for all the painting projects we work on together. And here he is, our Sadguinor, the saddest Lamenter in all of Warhammer. He's tabletop ready, however, there's still some more work I want to do on him. I want to get the wings painted a prismatic shape. Gotta touch up the white a little bit before I do that, paint the floaty robes. But otherwise, I'm excited to get this guy going. Gonna use the world's pinkest pink ink on this power sword, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for sitting through this project with me. If you enjoyed this project, YouTube says that you'll enjoy this one over here that I'm pointing at. I hope that you all have a fantastic day. Stay safe, party hard, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thanks so much, everyone. Adioski broski. Bye.